there, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Right, so today's video is going to be a bit different in tone and in message, and I'm going to start it by saying a huge thank you. Huge thank you to all of you guys, because as many of you know, especially the ones that have been following me more actively for a while, know that I quite recently got through a massive change in my life that obviously made me rethink several things that was also probably quite long coming. But I couldn't have gone through it without you, and there were some very rough days, very rough times, and by no means want to pretend to be some sort of major victim in the entire situation that happened. But the fact of the matter is that well, both of us, me and my ex-girlfriend, were extremely unhappy for quite a long time, and that leads you at times into making bad decisions. That leads you in looking for ways how to escape negative things, and uh, you know, um, wasn't wasn't a great time, especially the last couple of years. So thank you guys for helping me out through that, and at the same time, not entirely disconnected. I want to talk about upcoming Cyber Weekend sales, because in past and previous years, I can openly say that I definitely have spent at least some money on this game that I shouldn't have. That was unnecessary, or at times when I didn't necessarily, it wasn't the smart thing to do. It was just me trying to ape and then finding 50 or different excuses. Everybody does it. You don't want to be missing out and stuff like that. But it's serious, because they're not small sums of money for vast majority of population that Kabam is effectively incentivizing you to spend in these big sales days. And therefore, I think the main message here would be that I'm trust me, fully aware that the life is difficult, that life is hard for all of us, but for the love of God, do not, or try not to, spend the money that you don't have on a mobile video game, regardless of how actively you play it, regardless of how much you care about it. And don't get me wrong, I'm not discouraging spending money on the game by any means. I think in 2023, playing mobile video game and that being your outlet and that being your escapism, it's far from the worst thing. There are definitely far worse ways. And if you do have some disposable income, I don't think there's, much of a difference, from buying some expensive perfume or buying some overpriced sneakers to spending some money in the game, playing the game that you love and enjoy. Because, ultimately, it still gives you your endorphins. It still makes you happy. That's perfectly fine. And I'm, again, by no means against the whales. Whales will be whaling and they have the money. And again, if you are in a good financial situation, go nuts, enjoy it, be happy, because that's ultimately it's all about. However, if you are in a situation where you kind of feel forced to spend, even if you don't have that money, where you might not be able to afford something meaningful in your life if you spend this money, where you would have to make real life sacrifices in order to spend this money. For instance, not go on a holiday, or don't not getting a proper gift for your loved one or something like that. Don't do it. It will not be worth it. Because remember, that's with everything in this game. And this is, openly I can say, this is where Kabam kind of gets me, because I'm about as competitive a player as I can be. And I'm fully well aware that I'm paying extra, the premium, for being at more or less at the cutting edge of the game. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm fully aware that I'm not like mega whale or anything. But the fact that I want to be competitive, the fact that I want to play, C5, C4 battlegrounds and try for top 3, the fact that I want to play in Masters Alliances, push for top 3 Alliance Wars, that is how Kabam gets me. It's not the fact that I'm gonna get X amount of 7 stars. Because I know I'm going to get X amount of 7 stars over the course of time anyways. And for much cheaper. In this game, you always play incredibly large premium to get things faster that you will be able to get later for free or for much, much, much cheaper. Remember, if you think inflation in real world is crazy, this game's inflation is wild. Some years ago, we were paying $100 for a tier 4 CC, which is something that you wouldn't pay $1 for. Some years ago, then you were paying $400 for tier 12, which is something you wouldn't pay $5 for. Then it was $500 for a tier 5 basic catalyst. Again, something you wouldn't pay a $5 for today. And the same thing is going to happen with the current catalysts. Just like the 7-star shards are going to depreciate, just like everything else that Kabam is potentially going to offer us, going to depreciate and hard and fast. Always does. The only thing in this game that hasn't really depreciated is the units themselves and, the value of masteries and mastery cores. That's about it. Not much else left. All the champion shards, catalysts, gems, sig stones, all of that is subject to massive depreciation. So if you are feeling forced to spend the money that you don't have in these holiday sales, and it's not that you're going to be left behind forever. If you're doing less than ideal right now in life, there's always going to be the next sale. Kabam always will offer you the opportunity to spend your money. And there will never be, quote unquote, a shitty Cyber Weekend sale or July 4th sale or a spring cleaning or a crappy banquet event. Always going to be the next one. The difference is 1 year from now, stuff that you got here right now is going to be worth shit. Stuff that Kabam is going to be charging you $500 for a year from now, you're going to be getting in a casual offer for $50 or $100. If you feel forced to spend, remember the fact that everything gets much, much cheaper and easier to acquire over the course of time. Everything in this game. And, that is something that I have to live with as well. I'm not still in a position, and who knows if I'll ever be in a position to spend, on a game as I once used to. I have, things to sort out. I'm trying to save up some money for a car because whilst I lived in a big city in UK, it wasn't something that I needed daily. Now it absolutely is. With, that comes all new expenses. Now I'm living by myself, I have to pay all the bills myself. Life's different. Different priorities. I have different, view on life as well. And I guess I'm okay with it, or I'm making my peace with it. I'm sure that tomorrow I'm going to be still extremely envious. I'm sure that I'm going to wish, add more money. We all do. We always do. But, just step back and think. And I suppose the second big piece of advice I would give you guys, don't rush in it. It's going to be a week. Everybody's going to be uploading their polls and stuff like that. Take a night, sleep on it. Do you really need it? Can you really afford it? And if the answer is yes, go for it. Again, I want you to be happy. I want, this game to do well. I want this game to grow bigger and older and everything surrounding this game and community to grow and be more awesome. Great. But I also have had, very hard conversations with a lot of my viewers who have, significantly damaged their relationships and their life at times due to this game and money spent on this game. And, it also has affected me. Again, there have been times that I have spent money on this game that I absolutely should not have. So keep that in mind, And also, if you do happen to snap a bit, don't kill yourself over it. It happens. We can't be perfect and strong always at all times. So the biggest piece of advice that I can give you guys is take a night, sleep on it. Let it settle. Let that initial FOMO kind of, run its course. Then, take a look at the offers, take a look at your bank account, and then make your decision. That is it. Hope you guys that do celebrate it a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving. And you guys have fun tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information